Welcome everyone. We have started with a new chapter, that is cell, the basic unit of life. In the previous class we have dealt with the introduction. We have seen what is a cell. Cell is the basic structural and functional unit of living organism. So why it is a basic structural and functional unit of organism? Because the cell is able to exist independently. Okay, a cell is able to exist independently and it is able to perform all the functions which are required to be performed by a living organisms. So that is why the cell can perform the basic functions as well as it can exist independently. Anything less than cell cannot exist independently. So that is why the living organisms are made up of cells, and the cells are the building blocks, the structural units of the living organism. Like when we see, if we want to make a house, we use bricks. The cement and all are also used, but the thing is, in order to make the walls and for the house to stand, what we require is the bricks. So one by one, that is bricks will be there. So like brick is the structural unit of a house. Like brick is the structural unit of a house. In the similar manner, the cell is the structural unit. So living organisms are made up of cells. The cells, many number of cells will combine and form the tissues. The tissues combine and form the organs. Organs combine and form organ system, and all the organ system together combines and form a individual or an organism. So basically, how are the organ system, organs, tissues and all formed? It is just nothing but it is because of the cell. Cells are only combining. So basic structural unit of living organism. The structural unit, whatever the structure is given, whether it is the structure of organ or whether it is the structure of organism, the structure is given by the cell and the function is also performed by the cell itself. So that is why the cell is called as the basic structural and functional unit of living organism. We have seen that cell theory. So according to the cell theory, which was proposed by Schleiden and Schwann and later modified by Rudolf Virchow, the cell theory was explained by Schleiden and Schwann, which was later modified by this Rudolf Virchow. According to this modified version of the cell theory, that is, all the living organisms are made up of cell, and the cells, new cells are formed from pre-existing cells. So this was about the cell theory. Now in this video we will see an overview of the cell, that is, what is present inside the cell, what is there inside the cell and what are the functions they will be carrying out, each and everything, just overview we will be seeing in this video, and in the next video we will see in detail about each and every organelle which we will be seeing now. Okay. So all this general view, a brief introduction will be given of the cell will be given, and in the later videos detailed description will be seen. So coming to this overview of the cell. So we said that all the living organisms, whether it is a plant or whether it is animal or whatever, whether it is bacteria or whether it is a fungi, whether it is a protist, all of them, if it is a living, it is made up of cell. So now coming to this most complicated organisms, that is plant and animals. Plants and animals, these are the most complicated organisms, especially these animals are the most complicated organisms, because we have many organ system inside it which will be helping us to carry out various activities of the body. So now many cells, basically why we are said to be a complicated organ, that is complicated one, why? Because we are made up of innumerable of number of cells, many cells combine and form the multicellular organisms, and it is that is complex functioning will be doing. We have complex structures, the cells combine and form complex structures in multicellular organism, whereas unicellular organisms are just simple, just single cell only. With the single cell only all the functions will be performed, but that is the body of multicellular organisms is a complicated one. Why? Because these cells are combining and forming many different structures, complicated structures, and those complicated structures are performing very complicated functions. So now coming to this, if we see the plant cell in this one, the plant cell has a distinct cell wall. The plant cell has a distinct cell wall as its outer boundary, and within this boundary, that is outer boundary, one more cell is present. We call it as the cell membrane. So here the plant cell, the outer membrane, the outer distinct membrane of the plant cell is called as the cell wall. Okay, and inside this, just below the cell wall, another membrane is present, and we call this membrane as cell membrane. Cell membrane. So plant cell, inside this plant cell, distinct cell wall as its outer boundary. So this is the distinct cell wall which is as the outer boundary of the cell. This can be seen only in plant cell. It is unique in plant cell. This we have discussed when we were discussing about the research done by the discoveries of Schwann. So he said that, so that is the plant cell will be having the outer boundary which is called as the cell wall, and just within this boundary another membrane is present, and we call this membrane as the cell membrane, or we can even call it as the plasma membrane. Okay, whereas in animal cell, this outer membrane is only the limiting structure. Outer membrane limits the structure of the cell. Apart from this outer membrane, there is nothing other structure which is covering the outer membrane. So in animal cell only we have this. This is the only limiting structure. Limiting means whatever is there, it is just inside it, it is not going beyond this one. So this is the only limiting structure, whereas in animals, apart from this limiting structure, that is cell wall, one more covering is there which is called, apart from this limiting cell membrane, in plants there is one more structure which is called as the cell wall. So two boundaries, outer boundary and inner boundary. Outer boundary is the cell wall, inner boundary is the cell membrane or the plasma membrane, whereas in animals only just this plasma membrane. Okay, so now inside this cell, whether it is a plant cell or whether it is an animal cell, there are organelles present, there are structures present inside this cell. This is just the covering. Inside this covering, inside the space which is present inside the cell, okay, inside the space which is present inside the cell, here many structures are seen. Many structures are seen. Okay, so depending on the how many structures are there, what is present inside the cell. So we have those two different types of cells. We have those two different types of cells. Now here coming to this one, inside the cell we find a dark stained body in the middle of the cell. In animal cell, for example, in this animal cell, in the middle of the cell, a dark stained body is found. Okay, a dark stained body is found. So it is covered by two membranes. It is covered by two membranes. A dark stained body is present. This we call it as nucleus. This we call it as nucleus. In this animal cell also, a dark stained body is present. A dark stained body is present which is called as the nucleus. But here in the animal cell, this nucleus is in the center, and in plant cell, nucleus is in the side of the cell. Both this plant cell and animal cell, both of them will have the nucleus, whereas in plant cell, nucleus is at the side. Okay, and in animal cell, nucleus is in the middle of the cell. In the middle of the cell, a dense body is present which is covered with membrane. We call this dense body as the nucleus. Okay, inside this nucleus we have this chromosomes. Inside the nucleus we have chromosome, whether it is in the plant cell or whether it is in the animal cell. This dark stained body which is called as nucleus, inside it now, why it is stained one? Because it has many structures We said that a condensed dark stained body is present. Why it is stained? Why it is that is? Because inside this now much stuff is present. Much stuff is present. So that stuff being here, the first thing which we find is the chromosomes. We find chromosomes, and on the chromosomes are present this gene. On the chromosomes are present genes. So this is the genetic material. This is the genetic material. This genetic material is present in all the living organisms. This genetic material inside the nucleus, chromosomes are present, and on the chromosomes we find the genes. So the genes and these chromosomes together make up the genetic material of the living organism. It makes the genetic material of the living organisms. So an organism is not said to be living until and unless we have the cell has this or the this genetic material. Okay. So this inside this nucleus, it is a stained one. Why? Because many things are present. So once that is, it is filled with this genetic material. This nucleus is having genetic material. So the genetic material that is, on this genetic material we find this chromosomes, and on the chromosomes we find the genes. So now this nucleus is prominent in eukaryotic cell. So based on this prominent nucleus, the cell is divided. Based on the prominent nucleus, the cell is divided into two categories. The first is the prokaryotic cell and the second is the eukaryotic cell. Based on the presence of the prominent nucleus, the cell is of two types. Eukaryotic cell is of cell is of two types. The first type is prokaryotic cell and the second type is eukaryotic cell. In this prokaryotic cell, this nucleus is not present. Prominent nucleus is not present. But as it is a living cell, instead of nucleus, that is only genetic material will be present. Genetic material, that is the DNA, will be present. Okay, DNA will be present, but it is not enclosed inside the nucleus. Whereas in eukaryotic cell, this plant and animal cell, both of these are the examples of eukaryotic cell. In this eukaryotic cell, this genetic material is present inside this nucleus, the stained one. It is just because of the presence of the genetic material. Many things are there inside it. One such thing is, one of the major thing, important, the biggest one is the genetic material. It is the genetic material. So here also genetic material, in eukaryotic cell also genetic material is present. This is the eukaryotic animal cell. This is the eukaryotic plant cell. So in both this plant and animal eukaryotic cell, nucleus is present, and inside this nucleus genetic material is present. So prominent nucleus is present. Okay. Now here, whereas in this prokaryotic cell, nucleus is not present. Do you see any nucleus? Just this genetic material is scattered in the middle of the cell. It is not enclosed inside the nucleus. We don't find the nucleus like this. Inside this nucleus is there now. We don't find this nucleus inside it. What it has? Only the genetic material. So based on the presence of the prominent nucleus, the cell is divided into prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. If prominent nucleus is present and inside that nucleus DNA is present, then the cell is said to be eukaryotic. Okay. And if prominent nucleus is not present, just only genetic material is somewhere scattered in the middle of the cell, then that type of cell is called as prokaryotic cell. Okay. And apart from this nucleus, in both the cell, whether it is a eukaryotic cell or prokaryotic cell, in both the cells, here liquid is present, some type of fluid is present. The cell is filled with some type of fluid. This fluid is called as the cytoplasm. It is called as cytoplasm. Okay. And inside this prokaryotic cell also, the fluid is present, which is called as cytoplasm. cytoplasm. So cytoplasm is present in both the type of cell, whether it is a prokaryotic cell or whether it is a eukaryotic cell. In both the type of cell, the cell will be having fluid inside it, and we call this fluid as cytoplasm. We call this fluid as cytoplasm. So genetic material is also present. This DNA this genetic material is present in all this that is in the prokaryotic cell as well as the eukaryotic cell. So what is not present? Cytoplasm, all the cells, nucleus, that is genetic material, all the cells will have prokaryotic as well as eukaryotic. But what is not present in this prokaryotic cell? Nucleus is not present, which is seen in eukaryotic cell. Okay, so this is the one difference, major difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. But apart from these now, here inside this eukaryotic cell, membrane bound organelles are present. Membrane bound organelles are present inside this eukaryotic cell. Membrane bound organelles like mitochondria, chloroplast, Golgi complex, endoplasmic reticulum, okay, mitochondria, chloroplast, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, cytoskeleton, like this many organelles are present in this eukaryotic cell, whereas membrane bound organelles like mitochondria, okay, mitochondria, chloroplast, this Golgi complex, endoplasmic reticulum, cytoskeleton, many more structures. All these are the, not just cytoskeleton, membrane bound structures are present inside this cytoplasm. These membrane bound organelles are nothing but the structures which are present inside the cell. So inside this nucleus, that is eukaryotic cell, we have many membrane bound organelles which is absent in the prokaryotic cell. These membrane bound organelles, they are present in eukaryotic cell, whereas absent in prokaryotic cell. So apart from this membrane bound organelles, non-membrane bound organelles are also present. That is, example of non-membrane bound organelles is ribosomes. Ribosomes is one example of non-membrane bound organelles. These non-membrane bound organelles, that is ribosomes, they are present in both prokaryotic as well as eukaryotic cells. Whereas membrane bound organelles, they are present only and only in the eukaryotic cell, whereas non-membrane bound organelles such as ribosomes. Ribosome is one non-membrane organelle which is seen both in prokaryotic cell as well as eukaryotic cell. Both in prokaryotic as well as eukaryotic cell. Okay. And apart from those ribosomes, they are present in the prokaryotic cell as well as in eukaryotic cell. Even in this eukaryotic cell, in this endoplasmic reticulum, again ribosomes are there, whereas in mitochondria and chloroplast also ribosomes are present. Okay, ribosomes are freely present in the cytoplasm of prokaryotic cell as well as in the eukaryotic cell. But apart from the cytoplasm, they will be present in the mitochondria also as well as chloroplast also. What is present? Ribosomes. Okay, ribosomes. But apart from ribosomes, centriole is also a non-membrane bound organelle which we see only in the animal cell, which helps during the cell division. Centrioles is the non-membrane bound organelle which is present in animal cell, and that centrioles help during the cell division in animal cell. So this was about the general overview of the cell. In the next video, we will discuss in detail about all these membrane bound organelles. Okay.